right, guys, in this episode, we're gonna be back on the lifted LS Swap K10. On the last episode, you saw us get that junkyard motor back in the truck. On this episode, we're actually gonna get it to the point where we could drive it with our new drive shafts, custom intake, gears on the rear end, and don't forget about that full TMI interior. Let's get this thing pushed inside so we get that intake put in. All right, as you guys know, Andrew had some clearance issues with this alternator and this mounting bracket to our beauty cover on our valve cover. So at first our idea was let's just leave them off, but the customer really liked the look of these. So he instructed us to notch right here where I marked that line. So we have clearance down in there from the alternator.
So moving on to adapting our 4L80 into our K10, I'm gonna move on to our shift rod. So we have two issues. One, transmission sits further back in the chassis than it did previously. Two, it's lower. And three, it has more shift range here than it does on our shift selector on the column. To get the extra throw I need, I'm gonna have to move this pivot point where the rod connects in slightly. We'll have a little bit more movement of our arm with less travel of the rod. All right, here we go. There's our hole. That drill bit was not happy. Not happy. I believe this is gonna be the final length and our final fulcrum. We're gonna go ahead and test this out. All right, Khalil, do the whole range. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, 1, all right? Okay, go to neutral. Neutral. Drive. Drive. Manual 3. One more. 2. Now try to go one more. Ooh, yeah, that's all of them. Setup looks good. We'll make our final weld. Probably gonna lob this off so there's not just some random hole. Cut this little standoff right here. Weld it flat here. I got Tim to final weld it for me, put fresh paint on all the raw metal that it has on it, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to another adaptation. So what I have here is a low car performance universal cable. The original one in the K10 ended up being far too short. The throttle linkage was on the opposite side of where it is now. So I'm gonna have to run a new cable, and hopefully not too much modifications are gonna have to go on to make this all work out. Throttle cable's looking good. We have full sweep from 0 to 100%. Shifter's done. Throttle cable's done. Waiting on our drive shafts to show up. We got the call today from Drive Shaft Power, said they should be ready today.
All right, let's get these back over to Andrew so we can throw them in that K10 and we can finally get that test drive.
All the bolt patterns ended up staying the same, which is great. So we just refurbished all the joints and shortened the rear drive shaft. So I've got to cover off the rear differential on the K10. I wanted to make sure that the differential was working properly, and to my surprise I pulled it apart and it's got a Detroit locker inside of it. It is probably one of the most aggressive style LSDs that you could get. Not exactly what he wants. He still wants to make it a streetable vehicle, so he wants something with a soft engagement. So we're gonna change this from the locker style to a clutch type. Also, when I was in here I saw that it seems like they forgot one of the ring bolts. So that's something that I'm gonna have to address too while we switch out the ring gear to something a little bit softer. The wear on the gears is pretty terrible. I mean, you're only supposed to have a small contact area sort of towards the inner portion of the gear, but over here you can see the pitting already starting to happen. Now that I have it out, I can see that my ring gear has that same pattern. There's not enough preload on this pinion bearing. My pinion is moving under load, forward and backwards and in and out. Pinion preload is extremely important when you're putting together rear differentials. Never reuse the old crush washers that are in here or the crush sleeves. We've got all our rear differential parts here. We're gonna be switching to a helical style locker. We have a brand new ring and pinion set, as well as all the bearings, new ring gear bolts, pinion gear shims. We went with a 5/13 gear ratio due to the overdrive transmission that we now have with a 38-inch tire. So having this gear ratio is gonna make the truck cruise a lot better down the highway. So I've got my carrier bearings pressed onto our center section on both the left and the right side. We have our shims here for our carrier. We'll use these to adjust our backlash once we get everything installed. I'm gonna go ahead and start pressing the pinion bearing onto our pinion gear. I got our backlash set properly. I ended up using the factory shim on this side with an additional 5,000 shim. And then I had to remove the original shim and have here's a stack of the aftermarket shims that came with the install kit for our new limited slip. I'm gonna double check our wear pattern, make sure it's still on point, and we should be good to go. So the new limited slip differential is installed in the rear gear housing, as well as our new 5/13 gear ratio. So we're gonna focus on the cab right now, tearing apart the old interior so we can make room for the new TMI seats.
We already have kicker 4x6 in these back panels. So we're gonna go ahead and reuse these. We got some new Rockford Fosgate 4-inch speakers for the dash. We have an amp and we have a subwoofer because every K10 needs a little bass, hello, could you go? Anyways, we're gonna get our speaker box mounted and build a nice little standoff panel to mount our amp and run all our wires.
Had some janky wiring coming all the way from the outside of the cab straight to the battery running the radio. They also did a really good job of hacking up the original dash here. And you can see it looks like freaking mouse chewed through it. I mean, these jagged edges. Hopefully we can still make this work. It had a single DIN head unit in it previously. You can see it was held in with like caulking or something. Hopefully we don't have to follow suit and do anything like that, because it seems like the hole was cut way too big. I'm gonna do a quick voltage check, make sure these all test out for what I need them for. As much as I thought this thing was gonna be so terrible and cut so much, I actually have to cut more. Here's the cage, the mounting cage, and you can see that it fits top and bottom very well. There's a little bit of space, but on this side over here, I'm still about a 1/4 inch shy from being able to get inside there. Got the head unit installed, just went ahead and trimmed that up. Got my cage set in there, installed the radio, all that's ready to go. So I got the carpet laid out here. The way I like to work carpet is from the center outwards. If you start trying to mount your carpet or cut holes or measure from the outside in, you're gonna cut stuff too short or cut holes in the wrong place. And this was kind of my starting place, and then I just worked my carpet all the way around. This is a pre-molded and pre-contoured carpet, so all the bumps outs it has for the step up for the seat are all contoured in it. You can see here, fits real nice. This here is gonna get your sill trim here. I still got to go trim the other side. Boom. Kyle helped me lift it up. I got it bolted down. The seat is looking fresh inside here. We have this awesome dash pad that TMI provides. It doesn't come with these vents and the bezel here, but we have some new vents for it, and we have something cool going here for the bezel. Go sit in it. The other side, you gotta get in the driver's seat, bro. Get behind the wheel. We'll hop up in there. Chevy riding high, boy.
Oh yeah, she feels good.
Yeah, you like that?
Ooh, with the nice cup holders too.
Center console, so you can stash all your stuff, whether you got some notepads, your phone, pens, Holley keep change, whatever in there. It's also on sliders, so you can adjust it forward and back, which is awesome. Also, both buckets have reclining, so you can see here. So TMI door panel, they come with a small arm pocket here. You're going to reuse your old door handle insert on the interior. These panels don't have power window and power door lock options. I'm gonna draw out a little template area right here on the door panel, cut it out, and then perforate the fabric side on the other side with some slits so I can go ahead and press these in. Well, that was nerve-wracking. So I got the holes cut out, perforate through. It looks pretty good. Got the door panel back on, got the pocket for the interior handle, TMI interior, once again coming through. This thing looks beautiful. Only thing left to do is finish the whole other side. Alrighty, door panel number 2 looking right and tight. All right, everything seems to be functioning right. All the handles, that's rounding it off for the TMI interior. But we haven't put the bezel and the AC vents yet because we have something really cool in store for that. So it's not exactly bolted down yet. All right, cooling system's topped off, fluids, power steering, engine oil. I think the next thing we got to do is test drive this big boy. Sounds real good. What? Here we go. Square body action with this new TMI seats, man. It feels so comfortable. I've said it before. It makes these trucks feel so modern. Cup holders, and even this little center console. You can store stuff in it. All right, big truck, man. This is a maiden voyage here. All right, we shifting. That's awesome. 2. Oh, I still got to calibrate my speedo though. So everything's working pretty good so far. We got coolant temps up, fans are on. It's easy to keep an eye on all the gauges. We've got our all new Dakota Digital RTX gauges. They look awesome. So far, everything's looking great. Engine's running great. We put a new limited slip differential in it. It's a helical style posi track. I've already gone around a few turns and everything seems great. 513 gear ratio in the back of it now. So, filming and doing a first test drive is absolutely frightening, especially on this truck. It's lifted 12 inches, 38-inch tires. Steering's all over the place. Staring at the gauges, make sure nothing's going crazy. Oh look, I've got a concierge service at the door. Kyle, success.
Success.
First test drive was a success. Super pumped on the K10 6-liter swap. Looks awesome and super comfortable inside. We are about 97% done with the truck. I say 97% because we have a little bit of tuning to do on the stereo system. Also, I put a 513 gear ratio in the rear, and considering it's a 4-wheel drive, I have to do the same to the front. I've been waiting on my gear set to show up, so that's gonna be on the chopping block also. So once I get that gear set installed, then we could do some off-roading. We're definitely taking this guy out to the swamps, throwing some mud, and you know, putting the pedal to the metal. This thing's almost complete and out the door, so you know what that means. Graceful. What do you think? We got ourselves a new van.
I just need to get myself a dog and 3 friends, and then I could start solving mysteries.
Got a 70s GMC Vandura. Well, Mike told me it didn't run. You tell me it runs. You said you have proof of it running. I don't know.
Mike told me it runs. My proof is from Mike.
Okay. Somebody said they heard this thing running. I don't know if that's true, but we're gonna try to get this thing back to the shop now.
It's van life, baby. You gotta live it. Gotta love it. Yeah, it was. We're good. I had the e-brake on, but that's just part of van life. Cranking.
Oh, you did terrible. You turned so late.
Van life, bro.
Great.
Boom. Van life, baby.
The dope TMI door handles here, or that's not a door handle, that's a whole door panel. Black on black on black. What do you think? He's watching paint dry, my bad.
Sat my rod, bro.
He's just a kid.
Customer says to us, hey, my rear speaker is not working. And then we say, oh, because you have no speaker wires running to it. I don't know.